Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
A Vincentian police officer charged over comments about storming the Prime Minister's office. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, August 16th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has brought 5 disciplinary charges against the head of the Police Welfare Association, the PWA, over remarks he allegedly made on social media last month about plans to storm the office of Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Sergeant Brenton Smith's comment in a July 13th WhatsApp conversation among PWA executive members was made as a suggestion to get issues affecting police officers addressed. Smith allegedly said, quote, "One of the things I was thinking today, that we must be so angry that we must storm the Prime Minister's office, all executive members, no authority. We ain't asking nobody to go. We are going over there." He is charged with conducting himself in a manner unbecoming of the office of Sergeant of Police by making that statement, as well as engaging in mutinous behavior when he stated that if the incident hits the news, it must do so hard. Another charge is that he breached a routine police force order that speaks to all police officers behaving in a lawful and appropriate manner consistent with the Police Act and Regulation Force Orders and Policies, as well as the Cybercrime Act. The PWA attorney, Israel Bruce, who will be representing Smith during the proceedings, said he anticipated that charges would be laid against another officer as well. Over in Jamaica, the Police Federation is considering legal action over new provisions in the Constabulary Force Act. But before it goes that route, it's intensifying efforts to meet with the National Security Minister on the issue to get some of the provisions rolled back. We get more from TVJ's Vashan Brown on that story.
Federation Chairman Sergeant Raymond Wilson confirms that the matter is now a top priority for the group, and he's anticipating a meeting soon as a first step to reverse some of the changes. Among other things, the amended provisions include a $250,000 fine for failing to give 6 months' notice for resignations. Sergeant Wilson states that a review is being conducted of other pieces of legislation which were changed based on the provisions of the Zones of Special Operations Act. He wants the matter dealt with at the level of the minister rather than in court.
We're hoping that good sense will prevail. We have sought a meeting with the minister. We wrote a letter to him over the weekend asking for an urgent meeting for us to have dialogue about this matter. We'll hope that we are able to meet with the minister sooner than later. Certainly it would be good to have a meeting with the minister before meeting with the members.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Wilson says before legal action is taken, the procedure to be followed will be dependent on the meeting with the minister and the response of the Federation members.
And over in Guyana, controversy over police promotions as Acting Police Commissioner David Ramnarine is omitted from the list of proposed candidates. And President David Granger has instructed the Police Service Commission not to go ahead with promoting officers of the Guyana Police Force. It's a move that has raised concern from opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo. And according to local reports within the Guyana Police Force, sources within the Guyana Police Force have described the omission as personal. We get more about that story from Travis Chase of HGP Nightly News.
There are more questions than answers regarding the recent recommendations for police promotions, prompting well-placed senior police ranks to describe the list as unfair and personal. The list you are currently viewing was sent to Nightly News. Police Commissioner Silal Prasad, who is currently on leave, did not recommend the promotion of Assistant Commissioner David Ramnarine, who has been acting as Police Commissioner whenever Prasad goes on leave. Prasad wants the Police Service Commission to promote Assistant Commissioner Clifton Hicken and Assistant Commissioner Nigel Hoppy to the post of Deputy Commissioner. When Commissioner Prasad took the stand at the Commission of Inquiry probing that alleged plot to assassinate the president, he took a swipe at Ramnarine for saying that the investigation had been improper.
You were surprised when you heard him say that for the first time?
Well, there are very little things that surprises me. But what I could say is that there weren't any logics for that, and that is something he might have made up while he was in this box.
Prasad and Ramnarine recently made their views known on several policies of the force. Most recently, the release of a man who is accused of plotting the assassination of President David Granger. Ramnarine said he would have kept the man in custody and that a proper investigation was not done. Prasad disagreed with that.
He was acting as the Commissioner of Police when the report was first made, and he was acting as that commissioner until he returned. So for 4 days, he had superintendence of this investigation in his unit.
Sure.
And when next did he have superintendence of this investigation?
At the end of April, I was away for a week, and then 2 separate weeks in May, I was overseas on overseas duties, and he would have acted during those periods.
Now, do you share his opinion?
No, I
that
don't.
The investigation was improper?
I don't. On the contrary, I think a very proper investigation was done.
It was President David Granger who last week instructed the Police Service Commission not to go ahead with promoting officers of the Guyana Police Force. Well-placed police ranks who wish to remain anonymous have indicated to Nightly News that they believe that one of the reasons behind the President's request is the obvious omission of Mr. Ramnarine from the promotion list.
The Trinidad and Tobago government has registered concern with the British government over a recent travel advisory indicating that terrorists are likely to try to carry out attacks in the Twin Island Republic. In the advisory issued last Friday, Britain's Foreign and Commonwealth Office said there was a general threat from terrorism in Trinidad and Tobago and that terrorist attacks could be indiscriminate and take place in areas visited by foreigners. It also noted that although there have been no recent attacks in the country, more than 100 nationals have traveled to Syria and Iraq to fight along with ISIS and are likely to pose a security threat on their return. But the Keith Rowley government took issue with that, and as we hear in this CNews report, the Ministry of National Security has sought to bring clarity to the issue.
In a statement, the ministry said the government has held talks with the British High Commission in Trinidad and Tobago and was informed that there was no recent update to the advisory and that the language on terrorism was included in May 2017. Noting government's concern at the specific language used in the advisory, the ministry confirmed that there was no intelligence which provoked the use of this language. However, the ministry said the government continues to work closely with international allies, including the British, with respect to counter-terrorism and the sharing of intelligence, all aimed at ensuring that our citizens and persons in Trinidad and Tobago are safe.
Counterfeit EC currency is circulating, and the police in Grenada are warning citizens to be on the lookout for it. They said on Wednesday that fake $50 and $100 notes were in circulation in the island. It has urged the public to exercise vigilance and caution when doing business, and small business operators such as bus drivers, taxi operators, shopkeepers, vendors, and the like are also urged to be on their guard. The EC currency is also used in Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Montserrat, and Anguilla, but there was no indication that those countries were also experiencing similar counterfeit currency problems at this time. Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Jamaica's opposition leader issues an apology to the family of an ill MP over statements he made. Stay with us.
Are you missing out? It's the summer of 60. Up to 60% off accommodations, travel, tours, and special deals. Plus, the music, the party, the vibes, the celebration of the 60th Carnival. It's the summer of 60. Yeah! Love Antigua and Barbuda. Antigua and Barbuda. The beach is just the beginning.
Take advantage of these special deals. Go to visitantiguabarbuda.com for more info.
You can be a part of history on Friday, August 18th at the amazing opening ceremony right here at Kensington Oval. Yours truly, Puffy, will be here alongside all the cultural delegates putting on an amazing display for the world to see.
Yes, and one big spectacular closing ceremony. You don't know, at a super concert, Sunday the 27th, Kensington Oval, up to all when the stars set the stage.
And don't forget to follow us on all social platforms and get your tickets at carryfesta.net, ticketlinks.com, or all official box offices, yeah?
And it all goes down
Right here at Kensington Oval.
The government of Dominica and Discover Dominica Authority invite the world to the most unique and indigenous celebration of Creole cultures, the World Creole Music Festival, October 27th, 28th, and 29th at the Windsor Bank Sports Stadium, Roseau, Dominica, featuring Marshall Montano, Movado, Sweet Mickey, Itana, Roman Virgo, Glass, Yemi Alade, Kai, Zuko Stars, Bungie and Fayan, Triple K International, Ace Banton, and more. Visit the DominicaFestivals.com for more information. Say Musicanu!
Welcome back. Amid public backlash, Jamaica's opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips has apologized for comments that had been interpreted as him making light of health challenges faced by a fellow parliamentarian. Addressing supporters of his People's National Party, the PNP, at a rally on Sunday night, Dr. Phillips said the party should get ready to take control of government, and he cited sickness among the reasons the JLP's one-seat majority could soon be eroded and force early elections. While Dr. Phillips did not mention anyone by name, his remark was widely condemned by those who viewed it as a jab at Northwest St. Andrew MP Derek Smith of the Jamaica Labour Party, who is well known to have been battling the ill effects of diabetes and has been undergoing intensive treatment. But speaking with journalists at his office on Tuesday, the opposition leader said it was not his intention to make light of Smith's illness, but to put his party on notice to be prepared for any by-election. St. Kitts and Nevis, the St. Kitts and Nevis opposition leader, Dr. Denzil Douglas, is defending his decision not to support the Public Accounts Committee bill. He says the legislation would be a further transgression against open democracy and good government practices in the Twin Island Federation. On the other hand, Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris has described the legislation, which was passed in the National Assembly last Friday, as historic. He said it sets a new legal framework for the proper functioning of a Public Accounts Committee. The legislation also outlines how often the committee should meet, what constitutes a quorum, how voting should be conducted, the power of the committee to summon witnesses, and who can be called as a witness, among other matters. But in an interview with CMC News, Dr. Douglas says his St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party had reservations about the legislation because of the truncated powers and responsibilities that the new Public Accounts Committee would have.
There was existing legislation with regard to the commissioning and the functioning of the park. We all knew that what was happening in St. Kitts Nevis over the years, over the last 2.5 years, I would say, is that the new government under Dr. Harris failed to commission the Public Accounts Committee. And it was after undue pressure was placed on the government that it began to put something in place.
Douglas said the population had expected the PAC to have been commissioned a long time ago.
Now that it has come with very limited powers, the opposition is taking strong issue with the fact that the new legislation outlines the role and responsibilities of the pack to be limited only in the debate and in looking at the Director of Audit report, which comes annually at the end of the fiscal year in examination of the public accounts or any other report.
Over in the Bahamas, an employee of the National Insurance Board is facing extortion and bribery charges. NIB manager Selena Sweeting was denied bail when she faced the magistrate court. Jared Higgs of ZNS Network News has the details.
36-year-old National Insurance Board employee Selena Sweeting was stoic as she was escorted up the steps of the Nassau Street Magistrates Court. Sweeting was first charged with extortion. Prosecutors allege that the 56-year-old demanded $5,000 from Marvin Ramming sometime between January 27th and July 14th of this year. Court dockets say that Sweeting demanded the $5,000 from Ramming on account of assisting him with the conduct of his business. The NIB manager pled not guilty to the charge and elected to have her case heard in the magistrate's court. Sweeting was also charged for bribery, with the allegation that, in her capacity as a public official and without good reason, demanded $5,000 from Marvin Ramming. Sweeting also pled not guilty to that charge. Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt then informed the defendant that she was not eligible for bail in the magistrate's court and would be remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Her matter was adjourned to November 1st and 2nd for trial. Attorney Devard Francis represented Sweeting.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, West Indies ready for the 3-test series against England. We'll be right back.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
From August 17th to 27th, the best of the Caribbean's performing arts will come alive at the amazing Carifesta 13 Barbados, and the spotlight will be on the spectacular Signal events. So spoil yourself and come and witness the amazing Dance Caribbean in the contemporary.
Or take in the best of the best at the sensational Night of the Masters Literary Arts Signal event, featuring the works of George Lamming, the late Tom Clark, Kamal Brathwaite, and others.
And for you visual arts fans, prepare to be thrilled with 8 days of amazing Signal events at the Grand Salle at Central Bank, the Queen's Park Gallery, and the Barbados Community College.
Carifesta 13 Barbados.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
We begin our sports segment with cricket as West Indies prepare for their first day-night test in a 3-match series against England. Captain Jason Holder says the Caribbean men are no strangers to the pink ball. Last year, the West Indies played against Pakistan in the new format, and now they take on England at Edgbaston in a day-night test series starting Thursday. England became the 3rd test-playing nation to play the longest version of the game under floodlights, and Holder believes the new format augurs well for the future of test cricket.
Look, not many guys here have played pink ball cricket. It's not anything new to us. You know, we obviously had a test match with the pink ball and it went well for us. You know, unfortunately at the end of that game we weren't able to get over the winning side, but there were many positives coming up of that last game for us. You know, you had guys like Darren Bravo getting a century, Devendra Bishop taking a 8-wicket haul in the second innings. You know, many of the bowlers chipping in as well. You know, for us, we just got to stick to the basics, you know, stick to our process plans and look to nail those down. I think so. I think it's something that the game needs. You know, obviously Test cricket, not per se here in England is dying around, but many territories around the world, you know, the fans are slowly but surely decreasing. So I think this year is something that adds a bit to Test cricket, a bit of value to it as well. So hopefully we can get some more numbers coming out. People can finish off the day at work and, you know, come in and watch some good cricket.
And Holder does not expect his men to be rolled over by the English side quite easily because of the high level of talent that exists inside the camp.
I think the last series will show that. You know, Rossin got, you know, 2 centuries in the last series against Pakistan. You know, he really made his mark as a Test batsman. You know, but we've got a number of young second players. And we've got the 2 Hope brothers, you know, who bring a lot to our side. Karen Powell, who's had some experience playing here in England as well. You know, he brings a lot. Craig Braffett has been probably one of our most stable opening batsmen for a while now. And in the bowling front, they've got Keema Roach coming back, who's shown lots of form. And I really love the way he's shaped up. They've obviously got Shannon Gabriel, who's probably been our leading fast bowler over the last few series as well. You know, and you've got the youthful exuberance with Alzari Joseph and people like Shamar Hetmire. So I mean, there's a lot of talent there in the group. You know, just for us to bring it out now in these games.
But legendary former seamer Sir Curtly Ambrose is not so hopeful. Sir Curtly, who until last year served as the Caribbean side's bowling coach, said West Indies were coming up against a very confident England side and would struggle to even win a test. Speaking on the Tuffers and Vaughan cricket show, the Antiguan said he was very concerned. He said England are favourites since they have just beaten South Africa 3-1 and South Africa are a better team than the West Indies at the moment, and the English side's confidence is sky high. History is also against the West Indies, which has not won a test in England in 17 years or a series in almost 3 decades. In fact, the Caribbean side is without a test series victory since beating Bangladesh 3 years ago in the Caribbean. Reigning champions Jamaica Tallawahs romped to their 3rd straight win of their Caribbean Premier League campaign when they came from behind to beat the luckless St. Lucia Stars in an entertaining contest on Tuesday night. Stars, who've now lost 6 matches on the trot to continue winless, had earlier looked to be in control when opener Andre Fletcher blasted 84 not out and Marlon Samuels 54 to get up to 173 for 7 off their 20 overs.
On a good surface, and Fletcher and Johnson Charles again started off with some wonderful stroke play. Charles looked to be in very good touch throughout the last couple of games of the season, and Fletcher also would be hoping to carry on with the big innings until Charles was dismissed by Mohamed Sami, dragging one on to his stumps. And then Watson soon after with a peach of a delivery.
Kesrick Williams coming into the attack, and a little bit of misfortune for the quickie, but Andre Fletcher just kept going. Marlon Samuels came in and he was short of runs, but this was a partnership that started to make the St. Lucia Stars believe that they could do something. Fletcher, strong down the ground. And a brilliant 6, hold the pose, Andre. Odin Smith came in, the fastest man on the night, and he was dispatched. Marlon Samuels, 6 over long off. And the 4s and the 6s kept coming. Marlon Samuels' best innings for some time, and then he perished, finding the man out at deep mid-wicket. Darren Sammy promoted himself, but he found out the man backward a point. Carl Mayers dragging one onto his stumps from Rodman Powell. Jesse Ryder coming in a little bit later than he would have liked. Eventually, this was a very good catch by Lendl Simmons. That ball was swirling in the strong wind. Slow ball accounted for Shane Shillingford from Kesrick. And a big finish from Andre Fletcher as he smashed his way to a fantastic 84 not out.
In reply, Talawas were languishing at 93 for 4 in the 14th over before Andre McCarthy produced a superb unbeaten 61 to take his side over the line with 2 balls left in the innings. New Zealander Glenn Phillips chipped in with 32 in the opening slot, while Jonathan Fu struck a valuable 22 down the order. Here's a look at the highlights of the second innings.
But then he held out Glenn Phillips to deep mid-wicket, hitting into the breeze. But the Talawas were off and running. Glendale Simmons was then dismissed, caught on the rebound by Darren Sammy. A missed chance for Patel, who is also playing his first game. And Sangakkara also looked in sweet touch, stroking the ball quite beautifully, the Talawas captain, until he got a rush of blood and held out to deep mid-wicket.
Yes, good catch by McClenaghan. Meanwhile, McCarthy kept the momentum going. His timing has been superb. He scored a 60 in Lauderhill against the Barbados Tridents. He anchored the innings, but this was a mix-up, a terrible mix-up which saw the end of Rodman Powell run out. Jonathan Fu came in and hit a few decent shots and initiated some more momentum into this reply from the Talawas. The problem for Darren Sammy was that his bowlers were too expensive. A catch gone down by the replacement fielder. And another catch, difficult as it was going down. That was the end of Jonathan Fu, yorked by Mitch McClenaghan. But McClenaghan was expensive. Carl Mayers was expensive. And meanwhile, Andre McCarthy kept the whole thing going with a wonderful display of batsmanship. And with Imad Wasim, this was the partnership that saw the Talawas home.
And that's sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Carry Festa for you, carry Festa for me.
From August 17th to 27th, the best of the Caribbean's performing arts will come alive at the amazing Carry Festa 13 Barbados. So be a part of 10 days of amazing events, including signal events in dance, literary arts, and visual arts, the Carry Festa Film Festival, the Youth Village at BCC, spectacular opening and closing ceremonies, and much more. Get your ticket for your favorite event online at carryfesta.net or at ticketlinks.com and at all approved Carry Festa box offices. This is Carry Festa 13 Barbados. Be a part of it.
Join the Caribbean Broadcasting Union and its regional and international partners at the CBU Annual General Assembly, August 21st through 24th at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau, the Bahamas, under the theme Digital Developments in Caribbean Media. Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis, will welcome delegates during the opening ceremony. Guyana's Minister of Public Telecommunications, the Honorable Kathy Hughes, will offer a keynote address on digital developments in the region. See the launch of the UNESCO-sponsored Manual of Social Media Guidelines for Caribbean Journalists, with guest speaker Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn. And hear from international media players about the new developments in digital television standards in Europe, the US, and Japan. And this year's Caribbean Broadcasting Awards Gala at the Atlantis Resort Paradise Island is not to be missed. Call 246-430-1007 to book your space in the 3-day conference and exhibition. Don't miss the CBU 48th Assembly at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel in Nassau from August 21st through 24th. Discounts on flights to the assembly on the official airline, Caribbean Airlines.
And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports around the clock, log on to www.cananews.com. Thanks for joining us. From all of us at CMC News, have a good night.
from the Bahamas at the Hilton Hotel.